Hello and welcome to the review. My name is Raghav and today I am going to talk about bad banks. What are bad banks? What are its pros and cons? And in this video we're going to arrive at a conclusion of how should the Indian government act to make this decision of making a bad bank successful. Before getting into the video, let's talk about NPAs. NPA stands for non-performing assets. Every bank has assets in the form of loans and advances that it gives, and because on it they receive an interest, and these interests form the income or the profit of other banks. When talking about NPAs are those assets which have become bad because of the reason interest or the installment due is not received for more than 90 days on those particular assets. Now, a current situation in India in 2018, the level of NPAs were around 8.9 trillion rupees, which is a very large amount, and this accounted for almost 85% of the entire NPAs in our country. Besides that, the level of NPAs have been falling consequently because of the various activities taken by the government. But in the light of the COVID-19 pandemic, there is a situation where the economy is going down, and the RBI and the government is of the opinion that NPAs are going to rise to a percentage of 13.5% or 14.8%, anywhere between that, because of the extreme conditions created by the COVID-19 pandemic. In light of this situation, a decision has been taken to create a bad bank which will observe the bad assets or the NPAs of the commercial banks functioning in our country. So, what is a bad bank? A bad bank is a government entity created in India for the purpose of absorbing or buying the various bad loans from various public sector banks, and these are bought at a ratio of 15:85, where 15% is the amount of the cash which is paid for these loans and 85 is given in the form of securities to these banks. The purpose of creating a bad bank is to strengthen the books of accounts of the existing public sector units so that they are able to lend further in the future, and besides that they maintain their capital adequacy ratio, and also the nature of risk with them is reduced because they have now no NPAs with them. Let's talk about some positives and negatives of having a bad bank. On the positive side, bad bank will help to strengthen the books of accounts of all the public sector undertakings. They will be able to give out more loans because they have maintained a capital adequacy ratio. It will create a sense of trust in the minds of the customers because they know that their banks are not now facing with the problems of the NPAs, and the possibility of bankruptcy of the banks will go away. In this entire process, banks will be strengthened to give out more loans, and this will help to revive the economy because of the situation we are facing because of COVID-19. Now talking about some of the negatives, the expert says that this is a transfer of assets from one government entity to another government entity, and it will not create a much of a difference. The major problem of so large of NPAs is because of the reckless lending practices used by the banks, and by making a bad bank, this practice is not addressed. It is seen as only a reaction, is little solution, but the cause of the problem is not addressed by it. When we talk about the various taxpayers in our economy, it is said that their money is wasted because of the reason when you create such an institution, the amount which is due from the loan takers who have taken those loans, they are not held responsible, and because of it they are let go in the free, and the taxpayers money, which has hard earned money, is not put to good uses. Looking at the positives and negatives of the bad banks, in this particular situation a bad bank is important, but the need for fixing the responsibility of the reckless lender is also important. You have to curb this reckless lending process and the scrutinizing of all those persons who are included in this institutional process where loans were given without proper checking the entire potential loan holder. Now, a situation may arise where these people may be incentivized by giving more and more loans and recklessly giving loans, and this should be curtailed. And when this process is curtailed, the problem of NPA will be systematically solved. This is the need of the hour. To solve the problem, we have to look at the lending process and we have to eliminate the biases, we have to eliminate the discrepancies in those lending processes, and this can be done at the level of bank and by government making laws so that such things do not arise in the future.